folks, welcome to today's football predictions on betkraft. Another very beautiful Sunday morning, and we are back with our predictions as usual. All right, we make football verdicts based on the recent results that we have from each of these teams that are playing on a daily basis. That we'll do on a daily basis, and we saw how we fared yesterday. We did so very well yesterday. We saw our games are coming out just the way we predicted it. Aside, despite the French game, Marcel that played out a draw on that very occasion. But we have those ones on our VIP special doing so very well. We won all the games that we predicted there yesterday, and I always urge you to endeavor to join our VIP membership so that you don't miss out on those games that we put out there on a daily basis. All right, we believe those games have higher probability of coming out correctly. And also, we're looking at the matches today, and we have a very, very big match in our face today. We have Chelsea who will be up against Arsenal, the biggest match in the world today. So when we look at the stats for both sides, we can see for Chelsea in the last 6, it is 5 wins and a draw. Just like Arsenal, the last 6, they've had 5 wins and a draw. And when you look down on how this side fared from home and away basis, Chelsea have won 7 games in the last 13 home matches. They've had 1 draw as well as 2 losses in the last 13 home matches. Arsenal has been in fantastic form. We could see how they fared in recent games that they had. The last 10 away games that they had saw them, doing so very well against, having 8 wins out of 10 and drawing 1 and losing just 1 match in the last 10 away match. That 1 loss was actually against Liverpool, but we saw them doing so very well in most of the games that they had so far. And the last time both teams met, it was Arsenal who actually won on that very occasion against Chelsea. It was a 1-0 victory for Arsenal against Chelsea on that very occasion. And prior to that, we saw them playing out a 1-0. But we also know that the last 2 times Arsenal played from away against Chelsea, that match produced a draw. The first one was a 2-2 draw, and the last was actually a 1-1 draw. And here we are going with the away side, Arsenal not to lose in this very encounter. So it is away side to either win or draw, and we are going to expect lesser goals. We win or draw and under 4.5. That's a verdict for that very encounter. All right, still in the English Premier League, we'll have West Ham who will be up against Liverpool. All right, when you look at the stats for these two sides, West Ham have won just 2 matches and 1 draw, but have lost 3 games in the last 6 matches, and as well as Liverpool, who have also have 2 wins out of the last 6 matches. They've lost 4 games out of those. All right, when you look at how they fared from home and away basis, you can see for the West Ham, the last 13 home matches that they had so far produced 3 wins and 2 draws. They also had 5 losses out of the last 13 home appearances for West Ham United, the home side. And when you look at the away side, Liverpool, the last 10 away matches that they had produced just 4 victories and 1 draw. They've lost 5 matches in the last 10 away matches, okay? And when we look at how these two sides fared on head-to-head basis, we could see that it is Liverpool who have actually dominated against this very side, West Ham United. So Liverpool have been winning, and the past 3 meetings have seen Liverpool winning on all those. We saw Liverpool beating this very side by 2-1, and we saw a 5-0 victory for Liverpool, as well as another 5-1 victory for Liverpool. So we are going with the away side to take the day, despite the poor form that we saw for Liverpool in recent games. We are expecting and hoping that they improve and achieve a victory against West Ham in this one. So we win outrightly. That's our verdict for that very game. Also in the England Premier League, we have Aston Villa who will be up against the Wolverhampton Wanderers. And looking at the results for these two sides, Aston Villa have won 5 games out of the last 6 matches. They lost to just 1 out of those 6 games compared to their away side, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have actually lost 6 games out of 6 in the last 6 matches. Have not been able to win a single game. They are in real poor form. And looking at how these two sides fared from home and away basis, you can see for the home side, Aston Villa, the last 10 home matches that they had so far, saw them winning 8 matches out of those. They've won 8 games. I had 1 draw and 1 loss out of the last 13 home matches. They've been doing very well. 80% victory in the last 13 home matches for Aston Villa. And for the away side, Wolverhampton have only managed 2 victories and 1 draw. They've lost 7 games in the last 10 away matches that they had so far. All right, and when you look at how they fared on head-to-head basis, the last time they met, funny enough, it was Wolves who actually won on that very occasion. It was a 2-0 victory for Wolves, although they played from home on that very occasion. And the last 2 times, Aston Villa played from home, we saw them beating Wolves by, 3-0 and another 2-0. So they've been doing very well against Wolves, especially when they are playing from home. And in this very one, we are going to really expect to see a result for the home side, Aston Villa, who have been in consistent form when compared to the away side, who have consistently dipped in form. So we are going with our home side to win outrightly as our verdict for that very encounter. Home win, that's our verdict, all right? And that takes us to the next game for today. All right, lastly, in the Spanish La Liga, we'll have a game. Girona will be up against Real Madrid. All right, when you look at the stats for these two sides, for the home side, Girona, 2 victories and 2 draws and 2 losses out of the last 6 matches for Girona. And Madrid, on the other hand, have actually won 3 matches and 2 draws. They've lost just once in the last 6 games that they have so far. All right, when you take a look at their performances from home and away basis, all right, Girona have won 3 matches. In the last 10 home matches, they've had 2 draws out of those. They've lost 5 matches out of the last 10 home matches that they had so far. For the away side, Real Madrid, we could see 6 victories and 2 draws, as well as 2 losses out of the last 10 away matches for the away side, Real Madrid. All right, and when we look at how these two sides have performed, the last time both teams met, it was Madrid who actually won on that very occasion by 2-0. As a matter of fact, the last 4 records that we have here saw Madrid winning this very side, severally. And actually, Madrid have won against Girona, without conceding in the last 4 meetings between these two sides. We saw Madrid beating them by 2-0. Prior to that, we saw Madrid also having a victory from away by 3-0 against Girona. And that's also, followed a 4-0 victory and another 3-0 victory for Madrid. So Madrid have been very consistent in beating Girona, and you do expect to see them, doing very well here. And, we're going with the away side, Real Madrid, to actually do very well and win outrightly in this very encounter. It is a win. That's our verdict for that very encounter. Okay, all right, and that will conclude it for us today on betkraft. We wish you the very, very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. And remember to play responsibly. These are football matches. Sometimes it may not always be what was expected. Some other factors might come in, red cards and all of that, and then distort the expectations. But we do hope for a very good outing today. Remember that we have other games that will be on our VIP channel, VIP special, that's what we'll call it, and we're putting out those games that have that high probability of coming out correctly on that very membership. So you can always join for a very little token. You can find the link in the description of this very video, as well as anywhere you see join channel membership around this very video. All right, with that said, all right, I have one more bonus game, and it is a game in the Norwegian League. It is Vikings against Vålerenga. Is a game that I believe that's going to have a very certain outcome. Vikings, the home side, to actually win out shortly and take the day, in that very match. All right, we expect the home side Vikings to win there. As our verdict, that's a bonus tip for today. All right, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back with our predictions. But until that time, keep winning.